Hey everybody, thanks for checking out an episode of Beers by the Ivy. I'm excited to be back. I've been doing shorts daily, but I haven't done a long form because I just moved to Chicago full time and had to get my house in Indiana rented and prepared. And that was quite the ordeal, just moving up here and then doing that. Um, so yeah, good to be back in Chicago. Can't wait to build Beers by the Ivy here. I want to move into more of a daily show, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, just connecting with people in Chicago, building Beers by the Ivy, which is really just celebrating the energy around Wrigley. You know, not only just like the Cubs, but just also like the fanfare, the experiences, the connecting with people, the celebrating life with your family and friends. Like that's kind of what Beers by the Ivy is from a more of a theme standpoint. Of course, during the football season, I do a lot of different college football film breakdowns too. Maybe a little NFL too, but mainly college football. So yeah. Also, I was gonna wait, but the St. Louis Blues and Winnipeg Jets are now in their second overtime on a Game 7. Winnipeg scored, I think, 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. That was absolutely electric. So today's topic is going to be about me talking about the difference between the NBA and NHL playoffs. Right now, Pacers. Once again from Indy, so I'm a big Pacers fan. I thought that was a huge win today, so I want to talk about that. Obviously, I'm going to get into the Cubs, and then probably talk a little bit of the preview of some other series across the NBA and NHL. All right, but huge news, absolutely huge news, and this news almost makes me emotional, quite frankly. I have my first sponsor of Beers by the Ivy, and it's one that is so damn special and close to my heart. There's a store right across from Wrigley Field, the main entrance. I mean, like literally across the street, called Sports World Chicago. That's just where I've gotten all my Cubs merch for like ever. And I've developed a relationship with them, and now they're going to be my official sponsor of Beers by the Ivy during the baseball season. So I'm so thankful and proud of that because I absolutely love that store. So yeah, and we have a promo code. Can you believe this? We have a promo code. Beers by the Ivy. If you go to sportsworldchicago.com and use promo code Beers by the Ivy, you get 10% off. How incredible is that? All right, even better news than that is I'm going to sell my hats are going to be sold on sportsworldchicago.com. Oh, yeah, and that'll be coming up in the coming weeks. I only have a few hats left in my current inventory because I've been selling them, which has been absolutely awesome. So yeah, thanks for the people who bought them. Thanks for the people who are currently listening. Please subscribe, like, and share. But yeah, that was kind of a dream. That was kind of a dream come true, honestly, getting that sponsorship, the first one, and then the first one being Sports World Chicago. It's just, I don't know. We all have that one store or place we like, and yeah, just once again, I'm kind of emotional about it, so I'm really excited. So check out them if you need new Cubs merch, especially that light blue merch or light blue jerseys and shirts and all that. Get that way. I honestly, that's grown on me from a Cubs standpoint. I originally didn't like it. Now I'm loving it, so I'm picking up a decent amount of that merch. Of course, I have my own merch too, so I'm merching out. So yeah, check it out, Sports with Chicago. But promo code Beers by the Ivy. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna talk about the NBA versus the NHL playoffs and what they're different, or how they're different, and how they're both great. Whew, all right, so a little bit about my history, just in terms of my viewpoint here. Number one, I'm from Indiana, but I grew up playing the sport of hockey. I played USA Hockey, travel, pretty much as a kid, almost pretty much my entire childhood. So I grew up in the hockey community, know that sport extremely well, can do film breakdowns a lot, even though unfortunately I don't do it too much because NHL always flags my material, which is a pain in the ass, and I never upload the video. But yeah, I love hockey. And then NBA, I grew up in Indiana, so I've been around basketball my entire life. Though I don't know the sport of basketball and to a detailed level, I at least understand like basic concepts of the sport. All right, I'm a Pacers fan, which has had limited success in my lifetime, but I'm a Penguins fan, NHL Penguins fan, and we've won 3 cups in my lifetime and have some of the greatest players of this generation, mainly being Marc-Andre Fleury, my favorite player of all time, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin. 3 Hall of Famers. You could probably say Letang's a Hall of Famer too, but nonetheless. I also want to give a shout out real quick to Marc-Andre Fleury. Just played his last game in the NHL this week because the Minnesota Wild got bounced. What a surprise. They get bounced every year. But Marc-Andre Fleury is a top 3 goalie in my opinion. He's the best post-to-post goalie in the league history. If you've never seen Marc-Andre Fleury play, go watch highlights. Capitals, Penguins. What is that? The divisional round, I believe, in 2017. That is the greatest goaltending I've ever seen in my life, especially because Sidney Crosby was hurt most of that series. He stood on his head, and that was unbelievably dominant. Other times Marc-Andre Fleury was great was 2009 when they won the cup. He was actually really good in 2008 too. That cup run, but that Detroit team was so lethal. And they came back and beat Detroit in 2009. Went to that game 1. That was amazing. But yeah, shout out Marc-Andre Fleury. What a guy. What a character. Great prankster, and my official honestly favorite player of any sport ever. Marc-Andre Fleury. He's like one of the only guys I would maybe want to meet. You know, I'm not big like on meeting people, but Marc-Andre Fleury would be a cool guy to meet. So shout out him. All right, so I've had some pretty good runs of hockey fans and basketball. You know, I've had last year was the Knicks, and of course Reggie Miller, growing up watching him as a kid and a little bit of that. So here's the difference between NHL and NBA. NHL is, if you're a fan of a team, it's more fun to watch the NHL game. If you're not a fan of the teams, in my opinion, it's more enjoyable to watch an NBA game. Basketball, if you're not a fan of the teams, is more fun. If you're a fan of the team, NHL playoffs is take your breath away intensity. Why is it? It's because in the NHL, in hockey, you don't know when teams are going to score. Everything is so unpredictable that if it's your team, you are literally glued to the TV. There's no breaks. The game, and especially the speed of these guys, they go back and forth so fast. The skill is so strong. They can score from so many different areas. And then there's a part of hockey that's just the absolute unknown. It's shooting the puck off the boards and getting a bounce. It's the tip-in shot. It shooting, and it hits off someone's shin guard and it goes top cheese. All right, and then there's another thing that's great about hockey is there's the surprise and the euphoric moment of my team just scored, and then there's a pause in the game to celebrate the fact that your team did just score. And it's perfect. It's utterly perfect. And it goes both ways. When your team's on the offense, you have like all the intensity of like gratitude and like force of wanting them to score. And then when your team's on defense, in the defensive zone, you have like all the fear that their team's going to score. And it's the whole damn game. Another things that are great about hockey, just as more of a side note here, is there's so much about hockey that is selfless. And to win it's such a team sport. Not that basketball isn't a team sport, but hockey is more of a team sport. There's so many dirty things that take physicality, that take pain to win. It's taking checks. It's getting your ass kicked. It's blocking shots. It's as a forward, going to the crease and knowing you're about to get whacked, by a stick or an elbow or something. There's so much grind in the sport of hockey that just makes it, in a way, kind of beautiful. Like, if you win the Stanley Cup, there's like no doubt about it, because that road is so physical and so physically demanding that I still watch the sport of basketball and I kind of laugh when like somebody hits the floor and I'm just like, okay, dude, like I think you're probably okay. And you could say, well, hockey guys have pads. Okay, that's a good point. But still, I'm like, okay, just get up. You can't be that bad. Like, watch the guy in the 80s, early 90s. Those guys took hard hits too. They didn't really complain too much. All right, basketball. Let's get into it. Basketball, though, the basketball is just poetry in motion for me. Like, there really has some the beauty to it, and I think that's why I love it. I mean, even the Pacers today, I don't even know how to word this correctly, guys. I think I'm like spacing right now, to be honest with you, but basketball's interesting from the standpoint of it's a lot more clutch. It's a very clutch sport where like even the Pacers were up like 6 points today, and you could theoretically say like they could miss a shot. That's true, but if they hit the shot, the game's over. And you only get so many possessions because the clock becomes so narrow in the sport of basketball, where you're just like, I mean, the game can be over within 3 minutes just based on like the number of possessions that could be left. So you really, in the sport of basketball, as a fan, you get enjoyment from the standpoint of if your team is clutch. And I think it is the most ultimate clutch sport, aka why I've always liked Michael Jordan over LeBron, because I just feel like Michael just had like this intensity at end of games that was just undeniable. That's a whole different side topic. But yeah, I think that's for me why the sport of basketball is great. But there's also things that are, like selfless too about basketball. So I have to say that as well. You got, taking charges. That's about it. To be honest with you, that's about it. Yeah. All right. But yeah, I think that's the end of the pitch. If you're a fan of the teams, hockey is incredible. If you're not, I think it'd be better for hockey. But if you're not a fan of the teams, I think basketball is more poetry in motion, and the clutchness of basketball is rather entertaining. All right, I'm going to talk about the Pacers real quick, and then we'll get moving. Nobody on the internet talks about the Pacers except for Pat McAfee, so here it is. Cavs are a good team. Okay, Cavs are a really good team. They're a really deep team, and guess what that does is it sets you up to be a top seed in the East is if you're a really good deep team. But playoffs are different. And we've seen the Pacers last year compete against the Knicks, beat the Knicks, and they showed pretty good promise against Boston. Now, they didn't end up converting those efforts into wins, but they did, it was a learning process because Boston had winners on the team. Our team, the Pacers, are learning how to win, right? And today we saw toughness. And the thing about the Pacers that they did that I love and that the Cubs are also doing right now is Cubs are hunting at the plate for the first time in 75 years. Pacers are hunting when they shoot the ball. They are shooting the ball with authority, and they're saying, this ball is going in. So I was checking out the score of the Blues. We got 3-3, second OT, 16 minutes left. That Winnipeg crowd's been absolutely electric. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so I like the Pacers to win this series. Literally, Halliburton was the best player. And that was a little bit shocking because I'm spaced on the guy's name from Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was an incredible player. I love Donovan Mitchell. I always liked Donovan Mitchell. He's such a well-rounded basketball player. But Halliburton today was the leader, the overall captain leader on the floor, like the top dog, and he scored the biggest buckets, and he made the smartest plays. But the Pacers, I'm telling you right now, they're going to... I'm almost going to say that they're going to beat the Cavs. I don't want to say that yet because I want to see another game. And, Garland is out, point guard for the Cavs, so we'll see if he comes back because that can shake things up. But the Pacers have what they need. They got their big and Miles Turner. They got their get-a-bucket guy and a guy who can carry hard buckets throughout the game, Pascal Siakam. They got Tyrese Halliburton. He's going to be their closer and their overall playmaker. They have TJ McConnell, who's going to run the offense when Halliburton's not there, and he's going to make those amazing dirty plays, and he's going to get you that 8 to 12 points that you kind of just need. All right, and then you got Naismith. This dude is just, he's a baller. This guy is an absolute baller. Then you got Nembhard. He's like the most underrated player in the league. Who is this guy? How many points did he have today? 23 freaking points, 7 for 10, 5 from 6 from 3. That's absolutely badass. So yeah, and you got Mathurin. He had a few good plays today, great block. All right, so the Pacers are primed to make a run here. I think we can beat the Cavs. All right, let's talk about the other series real quick, and I'm gonna jump back into hockey because I'm trying to wait for this game to end so I can kind of wrap that up. All right, so we got Pacers, Cavs, Knicks, Celtics. I always say this about the Knicks. I mean, I love when the Pacers play the Knicks because no one believes in the Pacers, and the Knicks get the most media you'd ever believe. But there's no better basketball fan than Knicks fans. I mean, Knicks fans are absolutely electric. I like watching Knicks games at home just to watch the fans in the playoffs. I mean, that stadium is so well set in terms of like getting fan reactions and like all the people standing up because they're so close to the court. So I think Boston's going to win the series. I don't really see that. I didn't really like the Knicks moves, getting rid of DiVincenzo. Didn't like it at all. I thought he was a kind of a tough guy, glue guy for them. So, just Cat play tough D, probably not. So I like Brunson. I mean, I like all of them. I like Josh Hart. I mean, I like all the Knicks, but I still think Boston will win. I just think they're better. Pritchard coming off the bench, scoring all those points. I just give me the Celtics on that one. Thunder Nuggets. Give me the Nuggets. I just don't. It's so hard to win as a young team in the NBA, and the Thunder have never been here before. So if they win, that would be ridiculously impressive. And the Nuggets are looking really good. And you got to give a shout out to Russell Westbrook. I mean, I think everyone should be rooting for Russell Westbrook. It's like, I mean, a guy's made so many bonehead plays in his career. He can't shoot the ball, and he's kind of been a laughingstock. But he's found a niche on this team to, play fast, play hard, play strong defense. And he has hit some really key shots down the stretch, especially in the last series. So, yeah, I'm rooting for Nuggets. Also got family in Denver. Jokic, unstoppable. Aaron Gordon's looking really good. Jamal Murray, he might be like the best ISO guard in the league, other than like Kyrie. I mean, he's a freaking freak of nature. When they need a bucket, and he can pull up on somebody and just drop that thing right down. So, yeah, he's lethal, and he's a great playoff player too. Always injured in the regular season, but great playoff player. So, yeah, you got to love that. And then the next series, Warriors are up currently 84-74 against the Rockets. I expect the Warriors to win this game once again. I think age is just – it's hard to win young. And then they play the Timberwolves. I met a group of people from the bar like 2 weeks ago, and they were Timberwolves fans, so I'll be rooting for the Timberwolves. But, I always like history too, so if Warriors win, that's fun. All right, so that's the NHL playoff. That's the NBA playoffs. Jump into NHL playoffs. All right, Dallas with a huge win over Colorado. The problem with Dallas for me personally, and this is so funny, is I hate Dallas's jerseys. Dallas used to have some of the sickest jerseys when I was a kid, like the classic star logo, the Dallas Stars, and now they I think have one of the worst jerseys. I hate the jerseys, so I can't root for them. But my buddy's from Dallas, so I honestly just can't. So I won't be rooting for them. So I'll either be rooting for Winnipeg or St. Louis. Currently, this game is still going on. 12:44, 3-3, second overtime. Hellebuck is the Winnipeg Jets goalie. He's one of the best in the league. But Bennington is also one of the best goalies. He's the St. Louis Blues goalie, and he's actually won a cup already. So he's absolutely battle-tested. One thing about the Blues that's been interesting is they honestly had a terrible regular season, but they just found a way to climb back in the standings and get their ass in the playoffs. And of course, the Jets have had one of the best regular seasons. Like I don't even know. I'm not gonna say recorded, but they were top of the league. And Winnipeg needs this. I mean, St. Louis is an amazing city. I really like St. Louis, but Winnipeg needs this. I mean, they lost their franchise for 25 years. They come back. The fans are absolutely nuts. That community and that city have had big downturns in terms of their economics. So I think a lot of us are rooting for Winnipeg. Winnipeg also has sick jerseys, which is super important. I mean, the Blues got cool jerseys too, but Winnipeg's got 6 jerseys. I don't know. I can root for a Canadian team to win every once in a while. So give me the Jets in this game, but I would not be surprised if the Blues win. They got some toughness that they've shown down the stretch here. They really were challenged in the regular season. All right, next we got Vegas, Edmonton. Give me Edmonton on this one. Connor McDavid, McJesus, whatever they call him. I think he gets it done. Toronto, Florida. This is an interesting one. You know, it's like, can Toronto actually play hockey? Or are they going to choke? I mean, they are such an embarrassment. I don't like Austin Matthews at all as a leader, and I feel like even Marner's not a good leader. I've just never been a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs and any of their structures. I just feel like these kids are like absolute kids, like kind of weirdos in a way. So just I always don't. I would always pick against them. Always pick against them. And they got Washington versus Carolina. How Washington is good at hockey again, I have no idea. As a Penguins fan, we competed with them for like what, a decade, and the fact that they're good again is just mind blowing to me. I mean, they're one of the best franchises in sports. And the fact that Alexander Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's record, that's like, dude, that's like impossible. I mean, I remember playing hockey as a kid and Alexander Ovechkin getting drafted. And then him having like all these crazy goals his rookie year, jumping on the boards, jumping on the glass, literally like doing unbelievable celebrations, and people being like, "Well, this isn't hockey," but he's like breaking the norms, you know. But I just, you know, you just never think someone's gonna break Wayne Gretzky's 894 goals in a career record. I mean, that's just mind blowing, especially in today's world where like the goalies like take up like most of the net. You know, it's just ridiculous. It was like impossible to score, like between, I don't even know, like 2008 to like 2012, and then like sticks technology got so good that players could like, you know, find holes better than they ever could. So now scoring's up in the NHL. But the fact that he has done that is just absolutely remarkable. All right, and then lastly, we talk about the Cubs. I try to talk about the Cubs a decent amount on this channel, but sometimes when I do these type of episodes, I want to talk about like everything and then the Cubs. But I do have like separate Cubs video channels or Cubs videos that are long form. All right, the Cubs are on an absolute freaking roll. All right, the Cubs look like a completely new team than the years past. All right, if we just go back a couple series, right? We're just talking about series wins here. They beat Arizona. All right, they beat the Dodgers at home. They lose the series to the Phillies. They beat the Pirates, and they smashed Paul Skeens, which is awesome. And then they just beat Milwaukee in Milwaukee's home series. And they're about to play the Giants at home. I'll probably be going to those games. If you see me, say something. Please say something. Look at a picture. Be like, yeah, what up? But yeah, I mean, this team, like I already said, is just different. They attack at the plate, and I don't know what the change was. You know, could it just be Kyle Tucker's bringing in a new energy? Because other than that, we're pretty much the same team. We got Kelly, the catcher, coming in. He's bringing some intensity. Amaya, the other catcher, he's still playing good. But other than that, it's the same team. So there's nothing else to really draw to. I mean, you got PCA playing out of his mind. But I told you guys before the season started that PCA, by the end of next year, will be known as a top 5 player in the MLB. There's nobody like him. That's probably a long stretch to say. But he's so unique. His ability to play the outfield, is he the best center fielder currently? Was he like top 3 already? He's one of the best stealing base guys in the league. All right, and now he's hitting at the plate. I don't even know what the stat was, but the stat was unbelievable. He did something that hasn't been done in a Cubs uniform in the last, 10 games in for 70 years. He's in home runs, hitting RBIs, stealing bases, diving for a loose, catching balls in the outfield, driving in runs. This is unbelievable. His energy, it's gone. Absolutely amazing. All right, so there's a website called StatMuse. I think it's pretty good. You can look up all stats, and the graphics are kind of fun, so they're easier to look at. But allegedly, per this website, Cubs are number 1 in runs and number 1 in hits. They're number 1 in RBIs. We're talking in the MLB. All right, and they're first in batting average, which would make sense. Am I even seeing this correctly? I mean, this is unbelievable. All right, if I jump to 2024. All right, this is last year. Runs 12th, hits 17th, Our batting average 17th. This is a new team. There's something going on with this team. And I'll tell you right now, Rick, it's Cubs owner. You sign Kyle Tucker. Just write the damn check. You'll make it back in jerseys, man. I know so many people that want to buy a Kyle Tucker jersey, but they don't know if they're going to actually sign him, so no one's buying a jersey. Sign him. You'll sell him in jerseys. He's either start of his prime or a little bit pre-prime. I think this kid, you didn't sign Bryce Harper. You sign him. And then you work on PCA's deal and you try to get him right now for lower money. Right, you sign him on a contract because PCA could be worth so much money in the future. You go ahead and get him signed, and then your cornerstone guys, Kyle Tucker and PCA. Those are your cornerstone guys. You get both of them signed. All right. Let's talk about the rest of the lineup here. 1 second. I need to jump to batting average. There's a few people I want to talk about. Carson Kelly, catcher. He's batting average 368. 368. Played 19 games. At bats 57. So obviously, lower at bats, but he's literally splitting the games like directly with Amaya. Carson Kelly's been a huge difference this year. All right, Kyle Tucker, 137 at bats, batting 292, third in the MLB. Are you kidding me? Ian Happ, 147 at bats, batting 286. Exactly what I'm talking about. Ian, some big at bats. Nico Horner, man, he's having a pretty good year, batting 279. Pico Armstrong, batting 272. Unbelievable. Who's got the most hits? Let's see. Ian Happ's got the most hits. Kyle Tucker, then Pico Armstrong with 37. Suzuki, come on, baby. You got 34. He's batting 272. And then we get to our favorite topic of the Cubs podcasting world. Dansby Swanson, where is he at? How's he doing? He has games where he doesn't show up, and he has games that he actually plays pretty well in. He always has good defense, and you got to respect that. But at the same time, we need him at the plate. He's batting a whopping 217. He was batting, I believe, 184. Last time I was at Wrigley, which is 2 weeks ago. So, once again, you can't have your highest paid guy batting 217. Right? That's a problem. We know that. We need him batting at least 250. That would make the Cubs a lot better. But everyone else is picking up his slack. So, what do I say? I wish we could, what do I say? He plays great defense, but you can't have it. You can't have your second baseman who makes $10 million a year out batting you every single game. Come on, dude. Literally, come on. You're really not even far off from Gage Workman. It's batting average. You're literally the worst starter on the team right now, Dansby Swanson. Last year you were injured. This year you're allegedly healthy. Come on, brother. We believe in you. We just need you to pick it up. All right? All right, and then Shota. Well, hopefully Shota's not hurt. I've seen that back and forth. He's been hurt, so hopefully he bounces back. This game's still going on. 3-3, 6:42 left. Second overtime in Winnipeg. Wowzer. Absolutely wowzer. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Links below. For the people who've gone to the link and said, I want a free sticker, I am getting stickers made finally. So I will be sending out free stickers via the mail. You can check out the links below. Please subscribe this. Sports World Chicago sponsor. Use the code Beers by the Ivy. Get yourself some new Cubs merch. There's something fun about getting Cubs merch. If you want my merch, you can get my hats. I have sweatshirts in my store. Links below as well. Once again, my hats will be in Sports World Chicago, which I'm super excited about. Check out that. If you want to come on the show, you can write me an email or message me on Instagram. You can be like, yo, I want to talk about it. I meet everyone in real life. I'm like, hey, if you want to come on the show, you come on the show. I've only had one person that's literally came on the show. So if you want to come on the show, come on the show. But yeah, guys, appreciate your time. We'll talk soon. Everyone have a good weekend. May the 4th be with you. I'm going to watch this game and put on some Star Wars and fall asleep because that's what you do on May 4th. All right, guys. See you later. Talk soon. Peace.